you guys get any like pushback from hotels?
Yeah.
I imagine it's the same fight that
not only hotels, right? You have cities that are trying to figure out what it is. What do we do with this? On the one hand, we got homeowners association that's telling us we don't want this in our neighborhood.
yeah.
On the other hand, we got my first year out the gate. I did 6 figures, right? First of 2019. So on the other hand, we got business owners that are really thriving. They're doing 6 and 7 and 8 figure companies that are also fighting that litigation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then you got the hotels that are getting knocked upside the head. I run a successful Airbnb unit or a short-term rental unit if I can knock one hotel room out the box. That's the whole objective when I open one. How do I knock the Hilton out the box right now when I decorate this joint?
Yeah.
I want them to look across the street at Hilton, then look over here at my listing and say, man, we finna go over here.
Yeah.
and we're gonna pay more.
yeah.
That's the whole prime objective. But interesting thing is you can actually go on Airbnb and book a hotel room too now.
Really?
Man, they it was like, hey, we can't beat them. We might as well join them. There's a radio button. You can select hotel room.
Really?
God
dang.
Really. Look at the app right now. There's Airbnb is not. Keep in mind, it's not the industry. Airbnb is not the industry. Airbnb is a marketing tool and platform that's just great at what they do. That's essentially all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Because I imagine it's the same as what was it? As Uber, when Uber first came out, all the taxi cabs.
Exactly.
They were like fighting tooth and nail.
It's the exact same, especially in terms of, like you said, the businesses that battle it and the way they trying to litigate it and create some kind of taxation and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the most part, it's wide open. But you do have some cities that are specifically regulating it a certain way. Like in Nashville, you have to register every year. You have to make sure you're permitted. Austin, you have to make sure you're permitted. You have to go through this process and all that. California is a whole different kind of fight. You really probably don't want to play over there.
Yeah.
So, so certain places do have specific type of regulations that they're implementing. And even Arlington, even right here in our backyard, Arlington you can do it right here in the entertainment district. If you go outside of here, we coming to get you.
Really?
That's specific.
God.
And then you have some places like a Dallas wide open. Like my loft, right? I had 1,300 square foot loft, right? It was crazy, man. I paid $1 a square foot for it in downtown Dallas, in the exact same building. So one side there were residential. Immediately, the building is shaped like an L, right?
Uh-huh. So
on this long way, this is our residential. But on the other side of the L, Hilton and the Garden Marriott is attached to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So on the residential side, we were doing a short term. This is one of the ones I didn't do right initially. I finessed it.
Uh-huh.
They was tired of me. They was like, man, we need to break your lease, man. What is it gonna take? You know what I'm saying? So because I was doing a studio out of it, small events, and I was trying to do Airbnb at the same time. But where I'm going is, they are in the same building.
Right.
They're in the same building, so. The complex eventually said, well, somehow we got to play ball. So like majority of that particular complex right now are doing short-term rentals.
Yeah.
They had one company, Saunders. Saunders is a magnet. They really big in the short-term renting and Airbnb space. They came and they got in that building. I know last year they picked up like 55 units in that building alone.
Yeah.
In the whole building is only like 222 or something like that. It's like 200 or something in the whole building.
And they got 50 of them.
55 of them, yep. That was then, so.
They probably got more now.
Yeah, and they have a pretty interesting model. So they do, similar to what I do, we try to fight for at least lock-in. So I don't want to come in and just get a 1-year term. Because next year, what you going to do?
Yeah, raise it up.
You're going to go up on me, right?
Yeah.
So, and especially if you see the money start jumping.
Yeah. Right.
So I write up my lease terms and I fight to try to get, if I can't get the concessions up front to where I'm getting a couple of months free or, at least a running start to get a month free, 6 week free or whatever the case may be, then I need my lease a lock in for 18 or 24, or Up to 5 years in some cases of what I'm going to start targeting.
And they'll do that. They'll lock. I mean, if they
everything's negotiable.
Yeah.
Everything's negotiable, man. It ain't no matter if they gonna do it. How do I convince them to do it?
Right.
How do they convince me to take all these properties off their hand? It's really their job to fulfill
because
the spaces.
they're not being leased in, huh? They just open and losing money every month.
One specifically, like the ones I just picked up. This building here is, I can't think of the exact term for it, but they're under a certain percentage of what they're supposed to be occupied. Great area, great location, brand new complex. Obviously it's brand new, but they open. It's wintertime, so the lease not jumping off the shelf.
Right.
So those are complexes that you target, whether it be new or under occupied. Maybe if you got a complex that has 200 apartments in it, and they're running at a 75%, 80% occupied, that's a lot of money they lose every month. That's a lot of money. That's you're well equipped enough to have a conversation to prove that your business can come in and take 3 or 5 of those off their hands.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable and FDA-approved ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, okay? Make sure y'all go and get you a Blue Chew. Try it free on us. It's made in this USA, prescribed by licensed physicians, okay? And it comes in a little discreet little box so nobody even know that you're even getting it. And it comes right to your door so you don't have to wait in line, buy it at the store. Go to bluechew.com, BLUE chew.com, and use the promo code TAPIN, and you get it free on us. All you got to do is pay $5 for the shipping, and it comes right to your doorstep, okay? That's BLUE chew.com. Now back to the show.
They just want the reassurance that we're not about to have a party B&B.
Right.
So once you can convince them that enough, then you're in the door.
I think my only what I'm thinking right now, my only fear would be is locking that lease down for that long, not knowing if I could be able to rent it out or if I'll be able to get it booked. You know what I mean? That's as you talking, that's what I'm thinking, like, damn.
You got one job. What I say the job is to do when you open up a unit. You got to knock one hotel room off the shelf.
Yeah.
That's essentially your job. If you're doing your due diligence and your homework up front, you're figuring out who your target audience is, your guests. You're doing the research on the neighborhood. You're doing the research on that exact address. You're looking into it. You're going on the Airbnb app. You're putting that address in. You're going to look at AirDNA. You're looking at the numbers in that neighborhood. You're looking at the occupancy potential. You're looking at what you can potentially earn. No different than if you were buying an investment property, whatever. You won't just take a dart and say, I want that one.
Yeah.
No, you laser focus in, and then you peel it back and you say, hey, is this a viable investment? Yay or nay? So doing that and doing that properly, ideally you put yourself in a position to where you're not taking any losses. Worst case scenario, you do a break-in.
Right.
Or you have like a super duper low month and you had to take a hit, but then, throughout the year, you still all in all profit.